Hey guys, Rexar here, and it's the start of March break. So today for this episode, I'm gonna do an OOC talk. And if I remember correctly, last time we talked, I was going to show off the next reset of characters I made after Firelight, Broken Lantern, and Code. So at this point, I'm like quite a few months into my roleplay. And basically, it's starting to get a little bit slow. The story is basically going along smoothly, but then it's basically I felt the need to change the story up. Like I wanted to expand on my characters more. And I figured, well, why not do a next generation set for my characters? And then so basically what I came up with was this. So yeah, there's a lot of characters here that we'll get around to at some point, but for right now, let's take a look at the first character I made, Heatwing. Odd name, and at first I didn't care for it myself, but all the way I grew to like it. So Heatwing was Firelight's originally first and only kid. Originally. But that changed that changed quite a little while back, maybe a year back, but more on that in a later video. So basically, Heatwing's backstory at first was Firelight had an interest way back on one of his missions. She disappeared, and basically he went looking for her. When he found her, she had a kid. And the kid was Heatwing. So basically, Firelight decided to take Heatwing back with him. And yeah, that's pretty much was the basis of her story. Along the way, she grew and fell in love with Broken Lantern's kid, who we can talk about next. Now, Broken Lantern's kid is Kyle. And Kyle is, well, he's like your generic jock boyfriend, I guess you could say. Not too much on him. I didn't really work on his backstory that much. His basis is Broken Lantern is his father, and basically, Broken Lantern had a force with his mother, who I have not. Honestly, that's the flaw in his backstory. I didn't work much on Kyle's backstory because at the time I just wanted Broken to have a kid, and basically, how do I put it? Kyle was meant to be the love interest for Heat, but that wasn't how it was at first. Yes, right now they are an item and they have a kid of their own. But in any standpoint, yeah, Kyle was never really given a proper backstory, and that was one of my early. And again, this was way back when I was first working at it. So the next character who I originally considered to be Heat's love interest was Code's kid, who basically is named Tyson. Now Tyson, I did a lot of thought into this, and at the time, this was just when they added in robotic wings to this game. And I figured, well, why not have him be an inventor, be capable of maintaining his wings and everything. And again, he didn't have too much backstory like Code. I mean, like Kyle. So in any case, Tyson was meant to be the nerd of the three. He would be pushed around by but there was always that iconic will will they not kind of joke. Though Tyson did find a different love and a different character who I roleplay with. Yeah, that's pretty much Kyle. I mean Tyson and Kyle. And Heat. And again, I do this all on the spot, so nothing, everything's unpolished. It's just me and my thoughts. But yeah, Tyson's original look was very much different, but I found a lot of people were using his looks a lot with their own characters, so I had to find a certain style to match his. And let me tell you, it took forever to find one that I liked. This is what I came out with. And it works. Like, it's simple. Luckily, his color palette is very distinct. I don't have a character like it on any of my other OCs. So yeah, these three basically were meant to be like the replacements for Fire, Broken, and Code. And were meant to, when all three of them got old and retired, these guys would take their place. That sort of progression. But then I kind of found that, well, Firelight was such a meaningful character to a lot of story in my role plays. I couldn't have any of them retire, so I had to back out on that backstory, which it sucked, but it turned out okay. Like, I worked around it and everything. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much all of them. Not much else again, their backstory is very small. There's not too much on it. Trying to think, what else could I state? Well, Heat Wings again, they've all had drastic changes with every update. I always try to, whenever there was a new update, I always kind of refreshen the looks of my characters. Actually, I can probably show you the progression of Firelight while I'm at it. So right now, this is Firelight as he is. Basically, I always try to keep his look fresh and make him look young because I've had to have him basically be, I guess you could call it rebirth, but I prefer reformation several times just because of basically the role plays I do. So this is Firelight as he is right now, but if I go to a different version of Firelight, you can see a slight difference. This was Firelight basically back before now, with the main style I use here. The tail is different. It was more like Derpy's tail. Well, it was Derpy's tail. And yeah, and basically he would normally wear royal armor. Yeah, so that's Firelight's whole progression from Mohawk style to a flat style. And basically, I have it in the storyline that when he did have the Mohawk, basically, I always just pointed out that Firelight used this special hair gel to get his mane to look like that a certain way. Yeah, that's pretty much Firelight's progression. Now with Heatwing, obviously she had a child form, but since then I've kind of deleted that form. And I can't even remember her original look. But this is her now, so yeah. Now Kyle's was it looked like Fire's original style, but but it was a little bit more different because Broken and Firelight were the same. So I thought, well, why not have Kyle have a similar style to Broken in Fire? Then I kind of found they were too similar of characters. It wasn't working out. Like, I found them all to be bland and such, so I had to distinct them a bit. At the end, this is the style I came up with. And then we go to Tyson, who actually has two forms. because I played it as Code being an adopted fire adopted Code from the Crystal Empire. So basically, Tyson has two different forms. A normal form, as you see here, and then a crystal form, which has changed quite a bit. Originally, it was the original style, but then I had this whole Doctor Who thing that happened. I'm not sure if you know, but one of the episodes in Doctor Who was the Doctor regenerated a different form of himself with a severed hand. And so I thought, well, it was so confusing of a roleplay, but the gist of it is whenever Tyson is in this form, he's a completely different person. He's more outgoing, more energetic. He's like your little brother who had too many sugar sticks, I guess you could say, in a way. Not super hyper, but a lot more joyful. Now, as for the characters as they are now, he is married to Kyle, like I said earlier, and they both have a kid. Tyson is married to one of my friend's OCs, and they had 2 kids. And I'll go into those 3 characters. Well, I only own 2 of them, so I'll go into 2 of those characters in a later video. Probably next video of OOC Talks. But yeah, that's where they all stand now. Obviously, I haven't got, with so many characters that you can see here, I want to use them more, and that's what I've been trying to do with all my characters, is to use them more. But yeah, most of these are, if you cannot guess, are Fire's kids, if you cannot tell by the text. And some of them are just generic characters that I've had to come up with on the spot for roleplay purposes. And this one is a recent creation who I'll definitely get into in a later video. Right now she's still in the early process. But yeah, until then, I've been Rexhart, and this has been another of my OC talks. See you all later, and I hope you had a good March break. Next video should be coming up on Tuesday. Adios, and good night. Well, it's night for me. Bye.